Hello and welcome back to the Simply Greg Show. Thank you very much for everyone who's locked in with us and listening. You're listening to Simply Greg, and as you already know, the Simply Greg Show is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting the hidden gems in the community, and that's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today, we've got an extraordinary person right next to me. Amazing. So Yvette Taylor, the author of the Energy Alignment Method, and she's been talking to us obviously on the first half about, being on that journey to kind of like letting go of past hurt and breaking that cycle in order to find that inner peace and inner alignment and doing the energy work, and if you don't find yourself in that position, what will happen is that you'll be entrapped in that cycle of just repetitiveness. And she talked about the 3 different things that we also have to be aware of, which is, obviously she's going to go back through that as well, but all of these things are so insightful, especially if you're in a position that you feel that you're wanting to get certain results in your life, but for some reason, some strange reason, it doesn't seem to be happening. Yvette Taylor right now is going to give us some practicalities and let us know how to kind of be able to break those cycles and let go of the past hurt that we seem to be carrying with us without knowing. Yvette, please, thank you so much, first and foremost, for the insights that you've given onto us as well. Just give them once again, just to go backwards on some of the things that you mentioned earlier on. You mentioned that there was 3 things that everyone has to come to the awareness of first when they're looking at their own personal life in order to identify that as a starting point and be able to align themselves. Once again, what were those things? If you can go back through it,
Where to start? No, this is a crash course. Crash course in understanding yourself. So the 3 that we talked about earlier were, and you can write these down well if you're listening in, the reversed energy state, the resistant energy state, and the receptive. So everything in your life, every single thing in your life is in one of those 3 energy states. And we all have multiple layers energy states going on. So for example, in your relationships, a reversed relationship would be those painful relationships, the narcissistic, like there's the drama, there's the blame, the shame, it takes you so out of flow. It's everything that you do, the more time and energy you put into it, the worse it seems to get. The thought of...
So reversed as in like you're getting what you don't want, or cool.
So if you could see it as a one line, I always draw this as 3 separate arrows. The reversed arrow is the energy is moving in the opposite direction to everything you want. So the more energy you put into it, the more thought, the more time, the more you try to fix it, the worse
I see what you're saying as well.
So it's like,
so thinking that even having a child then makes it better.
It
thinking
just
that
gets worse. It just escalates. What if that's your money, the more you think about, I haven't got the money, the worse it seems to get, the more debt you seem to get, the more the bills seem to turn up, the more the bailiffs are showing up at the door. Like the situation gets bigger, but not in a positive way. It goes the opposite direction to what your intention is. It just seems to get worse. So the reversed situations show up in your life. They're the ones that are the repeating patterns. Exactly what you said. It's like you look at your life, it feels like you're in Groundhog Day. You might have even changed a relationship and you end up in exactly the same relationship again. Just different
Timmy just followed you. Literally.
Like, I need to listen. I need to listen to this. It's those repeating situations, and you can literally look back across your life and you're like, oh my God, this happened to me then, this happened to me then, this happened to me then. That's an energy reversal is what we call it. So they show up everywhere. It can be your health. It would be chronic physical health conditions, those long term things. So the reversed energy is it's consistent, it shows up, it repeats, it's heavy, it feels really hard work, and the more you try to change it, the worse it seems to get. The resistant energy state are those things in your life, like it doesn't feel so hard as the reversed. The resistant energy states are like those things where you're like, oh, I really want to go and do that thing, or I really want to change that. But it's more like that inner voice that pops up, those limiting thoughts, those doubts that, oh, you can't do that, you're not good enough, you haven't got enough money, you haven't got enough time. There's like some progress forward, but every step you take forward is like two back. So the resistant energy state is the one that most people are in. You don't really move. If you could see it as 2 arrows, it's like an arrow on either end. So you move forward, you move back, you move forward, you move back. And most of us are stuck there on multiple levels of our life. There will be something, there'll be some limitation, there'll be some doubt, there'll be some belief, there'll be something that you think, I can't do that because. It's anything that starts with an excuse or a reason that we give ourselves. That's a resistance. Then we have the one that everybody wants, which is what everything we're searching for in life, you know, whether it's success or that amazing relationship or money or career progression or the holiday or the house or whatever it is that we're all searching towards, is because what we really want is this receptive energy state. You call it flow, you call it alignment, you call it love, you call it happiness. Everybody wants that. There isn't anyone on the planet that doesn't want that. Like, and everything everything we do is towards more of that. And there'll be places in your life where you've got that, where it's like, this feels really good. I'm happy when I'm doing this. You know, amazing opportunities arrive, synchronicities, you know, that's the flow state. And, you know, this isn't just some spiritual concept. You know, the flow state is a scientifically proven metaphysical energy state in your body. You know, it's actually something that can be measured. They use it in high performance coaching. They use it in Olympic athletes. You know, they flow is not just a nice spiritual, oh, wouldn't that be nice? It's actually a measurable state in the body.
Wow. And where's the starting point of that? Do we have control of it, and can we do something about it?
Absolutely.
Okay. If so, how do we now deal with that and address that? And someone's heard what you've said and they're like, okay, I'm that kind of person. Or you know what? I'm in a back and forth person. My ex keeps coming back. or whatever state that you're in, and you've identified yourself within that as well. So how do they now go through that process, especially if, like we said earlier on, carrying baggage from the past, like, and then you're saying, feel the fear and jump. Yeah, you're jumping, but you're jumping with your luggage with you. And then you're trying to bring out the parachute, but you can't because your luggage is
on
literally, you know, and you don't realize why exactly you're sinking, or you're not, you know, going into the direction of what you're hoping for as well. So how was you able to kind of apply some of these things in place, and what were some of the things that you was able to do to kind of like align yourself to be where you are right now, glowing at peace, and different, obviously it's still a challenge in different areas, like for anyone, but in a better position in where you was when you were 17?
God, there's about 20 questions in there that I really want to answer.
I know.
So before I will teach you the 5 steps, because it's really important to understand those. The first thing to do is to just be truthful with yourself.
That's it. Love it.
You have to start. You have to start with that.
Love it.
Because unless or until you are prepared to say, I'm not happy with this. Enough is enough. Like you said earlier, enough is enough. I'm not standing for this anymore. My happiness, my well-being, my health, my relationship is so much more important to me than holding on to whatever it is that's holding me back. I have to let that go. So first of all, you just have to be truthful with yourself. All of us have got multiple things going on in our lives. So don't ever think that you're the only person that's got it, feeling it, got that going on. Everybody's got it going on. And like you said earlier, you never know what people are going on. Social media, you know, people only show the shiny side of themselves. Very rarely do people really share what's going on. And I think with everything that's gone on this last year, I think that everybody's feeling it in a way like they just have never before. So give yourself a break. Is the other thing. Just recognize, okay, everything's energy. It's all in one of these 3 states, and there is a way to let that go. And I need to now do that to let go of whatever it is. So it starts with doing, in my world, it starts with doing the energy work first. I'm not asking you to go and, you know, have the conversation in the relationship or, you know, go and throw your resignation in at work, or, you know, start hitting the gym when that's the worst thing in the world for you. You know, I'm not asking you to take the action first. The important piece is do the energy work, because unless or until you do the energy work, you're still carrying all that stuff with you. So you're not going to create the change in the way that you would. When you've done the energy work, you free yourself up, and then the change will come in when you move into that receptive state around that subject.
So it's also you shifting yourself, and not just shifting the energy, but getting yourself in that predicament.
Yeah.
It's almost like clearing out the house and then for the new furniture to come in.
Exactly.
I love that, because a lot of people just get into the actions quickly and not realize that the first step sometimes is what's going on inside and you cleaning up.
We have to do that.
Wow.
We have to do that. And that's, you know, there's the 5 steps of EAM,
Yeah.
but then there is a journey that we take people on as well, because most people are trying to change their life in a very chaotic way. Like they're trying to put out the next fire, you know, like whatever that is. It's
true.
like, oh, that corner of the house is on fire. Like, let's deal with that. And then they bit that one out, and then there's another fire somewhere else. And all of those are just manifestations of what's going on in your energy.
Wow.
So just by putting out the fire, it's still there. And that's why the other fire ignites. So,
because that's where your energy is at the present moment.
Exactly. It's what you've got going on, and that's what you're then bringing into the world.
Yeah.
So it does start with doing the work on yourself first. You can't change a relationship. You can't change a person. You can't change your children, your partner. You can't change anything else outside of you until you get yourself sorted.
Yeah.
So like the outline of the journey would be what we call your soul, which is your spiritual connection, your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical health. You have to sort those things out first, because they're the things that make you you. They're the things that create your day-to-day experience of life. And if any of those are in that reversed, resistant state, it's pulling you apart. You're not whole, you're not complete, you're approaching life in a really haphazard way, and you don't have your full energy behind you to actually create the changes that you want. You're going at it carrying the luggage. You know.
And without having it makes perfect sense. So without having the acknowledgement or understanding of that, you wouldn't even know that you're participating in that action. Like you said, like really carrying that luggage with you without knowing, and thinking that you're actually freeing yourself as well. That's major stuff, man. I think a lot of people have just got some bombs right there, just like, oh my God, I need to fix me. Yes, you. Yes, me. And me.
It is us first. It is us first. And then the next piece is your life. So then you would look at, you know, changes in your home, changes in your relationship, changes in how you live your life, like your lifestyle itself. Then you look at money, finding your passion and purpose in your work. And most people spend all their time focused on their work, or making money, or making money, or making money, or making money. And then they think that when I've got my work sorted, when I've got my money sorted, then I will be happy in my relationship. Then I'll be able to go on holiday, although obviously not allowed to do that at the moment. You know, then I will find time for myself. Then I'll find time for me. Then I'll have time to go to the gym. Then I will become a spiritual guru and go and sit on top of a mountain and meditate. And it's like, it's backwards. It's backwards for so many people, the way that we approach it. So you have to start with you. And I know that it's such a cliche thing. And I got so frustrated, you know, on my own journey. You're in the world of personal development. How many times do you hear that? Like, just go within and, you know, just find it within yourself. And all you want to do is scream, but how? How? Literally. I'm really practical. I'm crazy spiritual. And I'm also really grounded and practical. I'm like, give me a process, give me a method, give me something to do, something I can follow. And that's really what EAM is like. It's a bridge between the two. It's got to be practical. You've got to have a way to put it into your life that doesn't take 45 minutes a day to sit and meditate. And most people can't meditate because their brain goes off on the 101 things that they've got to do. You need something you can just put into practice. When you're feeling rubbish, when you're feeling angry, that you can just do it, shift your energy state in a couple of minutes. And then carry on with what you're doing instead of trying to push against it. So it's down to that daily awareness of how you're feeling, of how am I feeling? How am I feeling right now? Am I feeling good? No, I'm really not feeling good.
So just checking yourself as well, really and truly.
Absolutely. And not letting your energy get carried away for the day. You know, like you wake up in the morning and you roll over and look at your phone and someone's annoyed you.
She was going to speak French. She's multilingual. You know, that's the good.
You're lucky I caught myself because I don't normally. You know, and then the rest of your day is based off that energy. You know, you end up taking out on everybody else. You end up having a bad day, and you get into bed and you feel like you've achieved nothing because you've spent the whole day out of flow. Instead of checking yourself, just, okay, this doesn't feel good. Now I put this into practice. and then I feel better, and then I go about my day.
Because it's interesting. Sometimes people, I remember when I came more into the conscious awareness of that, and I started realizing, you know, it's also about, it's not that you're going to eliminate or not go through these circumstances, but it's ensuring that you can kind of switch that energy as quick as possible.
Exactly.
You know, you wouldn't even realize you wake up literally on the other side of the bed, or whatever it is that they even say sometimes when we wake up, what happens is that when we go straight into the things that we do, like let's say phone or whatever it is, we're actually putting our brain right back into the day before or whatever the to-dos kind of things, without giving our brain a chance to kind of like really take itself and hone a new day.
Exactly.
And it's back into that chase mode without even having that moment to yourself first, you know? So you're supposed to kind of like take that moment to kind of breathe and just take it in, like just the day, the morning, what your dream was, or the messages that you received as well, writing it down, and then, you know, taking the flow of the day.
Just give yourself that minute, just to be.
Yeah.
Just to be.
Just to be. That's important. That's important. And obviously you wanted to give them, I think you called it the 5 steps, or what is there, you know, of some practicalities that they wanted to kind of do. So what are some of the steps that they can kind of take towards that?
So the 5 steps of EAM, it's really simple once you know how. And I haven't got time to teach you all of it today.
Yeah.
But there are 5 steps to the process itself. And I think it's important to understand them, because there is a journey to transformation, and that journey is wrapped up in the 5 steps. And it takes me much longer to explain it than it does to actually do the 5 steps. It's really quick. It's like 2-3 minutes once you know how to do it. So step 1 of the process, if you're writing these things down, then please do write these down. Step 1 is called you ask. Step 2 is called you move. Step 3, you experience. Step 4, you transform. And step 5, you manifest. So there is a lot that sits behind each and every one of those steps. It's very much grounded in psychology and the process of change and energy healing, but just as a very high level. Step 1, you have to become aware of what it is that you want to actually work on. Most of the time when we try to approach something, we're doing it with our conscious awareness. We're like, oh, you know, that thing that happened to me when I'm 11, that's the thing that's held me back all my life. But actually, when you access your subconscious, which is what we do with step 1 and 2, you actually find out what the thing is in terms of your energy field, like what's actually in the way, what's actually holding you back, not what you're consciously aware of. You know, you've probably seen that picture of the iceberg, like your conscious awareness is this tiny bit, and actually your subconscious is where it all is held. So in EAM, when we talk about your subconscious, what we're actually talking about is your aura, your energy field, which is scientifically proven. It can be measured up to 20 feet away from you. It's not just a spiritual concept. And that's where your subconscious information is held.
And you know what, when you're saying that, because one of the things, it's funny, because when I hear the guests kind of like talking to me about certain things, it also reminds me of my journeys and a lot of things. And I remember there was a point of time in my life that I was literally telling someone, I felt like sometimes I'll be in a room and feel like I'm too big for that room.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I was telling that, but people didn't understand. It's like, I think at that time as well, as I was coming to that knowledge of that, I was working on being I was realizing the power that I had and such presence that I even felt when I would meditate or just take time breathing, that I can actually feel myself transcending beyond the room. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, but all of those things, when I started understanding is the energy fields and you as an individual, just kind of like, and and then you realize that you carry that with you wherever you are, that wherever you are, you're seeing even people smiling, people positive around you, because that's you as an individual compared to those who might just be down, dreaded about everything. And like, you know, they're literally carrying that energy with them as well. So when you mentioned about the energy fields, it just reminded me of that time that I could actually feel that it's a weird feeling, but you can actually feel that you're too big for this room.
Absolutely. And that's when you're in flow. But that's when you're in flow.
Wow.
So when we're in the flow state, our energy expands, our energy field expands.
I didn't even know
and
this.
It can be measured up to 20 feet away.
Wow.
When you're out of flow, and we've all met those people and we've all been that person at some point, they literally feel heavy. They feel like, dark matter. It's like they're sucking in all of the energy from around them because their energy field literally collapses in.
Yeah.
And so this is often what people experience as depression.
Yeah.
Is actually, if you look at it in terms of energy, is your energy field is actually collapsed in on you.
Wow.
So it's not expanded 20 feet out. It's it's like so close. That's why it feels so heavy. That's why it feels like you're carrying everything, because everything is on you and it's like it's all there.
That's crazy. I never actually thought of it like that. You're supposed to emit that energy, but then that energy is kind of imploding within itself.
Yeah, on you, in you, and that's why everything feels like it's carrying everything.
That is crazy.
We can have some really crazy conversations. Seriously, I've got loads.
I've
got loads.
But that's crazy, because even when I came to the recognition of, I know you talked about earlier on our brain working against us. When I came to understanding of the fact that, think about it, as human beings, like this is one that is crazy as well. As human beings, we are creative beings. Now, what happens is sometimes, like when you're operating in that element of fear or in that negative kind of energy, love, obviously, as we know, is the highest kind of form of energy, and also, anger and whatnot is obviously low. But when you're operating in that kind of fear, what you are now doing, you are still a creative being, but you're now creating all of these circumstances out of you. Like, if you can create the best of things in life, why choose to create the worst of things when it doesn't just go away? You are creating that, which is crazy. And you just telling me about that and saying that, you emitting that energy, but then it's like you're imploding within yourself. It's like, why work against yourself? And that's one of those days that I used to say to myself, Greg, don't stand in your own way now. Now you move out of your way so that you can get this done, and it's literally that. That's amazing, man. And obviously, sorry, I cut you off from the next kind of thing.
No. It's and that's the reversed energy state that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Depression is like a consistently reversed energy state. Usually something that's happened that's so significant they've imploded on themselves. So everything they go through in life will feel like they're in that space because their energy field has literally shifted into that.
Yeah.
So so step 2, just because I don't want to finish that. So step 2 is where we access your subconscious by using a process from applied kinesiology, where you actually tap in and you can find the answers to questions, any yes or no answer question. So instead of working on what you think it is, you can actually ask your energy field, if I have this thing, and then you're working on the right thing, which is really important. So you don't spend your time working on things that aren't actually the issue. You actually have clarity on what's there. Step 3 is called you experience. And that's really simple. Everybody can do that. It's just, there are different ways to do step 3, but the easiest one is just pay attention to what happens in your energy. So when you think about that problem, person, situation, issue, what happens to you? Like, where do you feel it? When you close your eyes, like, is it a heaviness on your chest? Does it feel like it's weighing you down? Does it feel like you're walking through treacle? Like, we all have those physiological responses, when you're going to do something and you think, it makes you can't breathe, you can't talk. We all have that response. That is your energy.
Wow.
That is your energy responding to that situation. It's that suitcase stuff popping up again. It's like, you've been in this situation before and this is what's going on. So it brings everything up. So what's happening in your energy when you think
even
about it?
Anxiety and different
anxiety is like your heart energy is imploded. That's why people experience panic attacks, is their heart chakras literally shut down. So every single one of us has a physiological response to whatever is going on. That is your energy field telling you where the resistance is stuck.
And does different parts of where you have that manifestation also tell you something different?
Yeah.
Oh man, we could go off all day. This is because it's just another story in itself. It's like the head, the heart, your legs, your feet, and everything.
They all have a metaphysical meaning.
Wow,
all of them. And this is when you really understand everything energetically. You're like, okay. Yeah. The reason I've got this pain in my leg is because I don't want to be moving forward. The reason I've got this problem with my hands is because of the things that I'm doing. The reason my throat and my voice has disappeared is because I'm not speaking my truth. Like, everything's got a metaphysical meaning. that gives you clues to your subconscious. Your subconscious is talking to you all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
And that reminds me when I also looked at the pain chart as well in itself and just seeing the various different things. And even for those who maybe on your neck or shoulder or whatnot and hunched, it's kind of like you feel like there's a weight or the world is on your shoulder or taking a lot of responsibility and various different things. When I was like, wow, so crazy how, you know, physically we manifest the things that are actually internally without us knowing. Yeah. And you can actually see that. And when you identify that, it's about addressing that.
It's huge. Yeah. And this maps over beautifully into, there are lots and lots of different metaphysical, medical mapping where they've actually shown changes in the brain. There's a field of energy work called metamedicine where they've actually mapped every single physical health condition to the energetics and the psychology that sits behind all of it. So for me, I can't wait till the world has this fully integrated health system that, you know, we understand how things have been created rather than just trying to deal with it with medication. There is so much that can be done by shifting the mindset behind that. That's a conversation. Yeah. That's another conversation. So step 4. Yeah. Step 4, just really quickly, is a release statement. So we shift that resistance, we shift that reversal and let that go. And then step 5, once you've let go of that stuff that's holding you back, then you do the positivity work. Then you do the manifesting. Then you do the request. Then you do the power of affirmations and meditation and journaling. And most people are trying to do the positivity stuff without having let go of the stuff that's holding them back. And that's why it doesn't work. It's not that manifesting doesn't work. It's not that affirmations don't work. It's that your vibration
is not in the right setting first.
You're still holding on to all that stuff. Wow. So how on earth is that little 5 minutes of you sitting and being happy going to counteract the rest of the day when you've been miserable? So you have to let go of what's holding you back in your energy field before you do the manifesting. So they're built into the 5 steps. It's the yin and yang of transformation. You have to do both.
And I was going to mention number 4 that you mentioned as well, because that's something that I've done previously before in terms of release, is also like writing, a good way to kind of release. Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember I'd done that as I wrote a little something and burnt it. Yeah. And just kind of like...
but you have to let it go first.
Yeah.
You have to let it go. So there's. See,
I do my own work as well. I just
I've got to teach you.
Greg didn't just appear like it's not easy. Come on, you have to go through classes to be like me.
I'm joking. You really do. So with step 4, there's usually a really powerful statement that we use to release, which is a command to the brain and the heart and the energy field. And then the same with step 5, we re-empower with a specific statement that we've got around step 5.
Now, Yvette, you've given them a lot, and I'm sure definitely there'll be a lot of comments about this, and everyone's just like, someone there, I can read minds as well. I didn't tell you I can read minds, right? So someone is probably thinking right now, how do I get in touch with her? I just how can I connect? See, I read someone's mind right there. So please, how can they connect with you? Where can they find you? All this alignment stuff. They want to know how do they align themselves? Yeah. How do they connect with you? Where do they get your book from and so forth?
Everywhere. Yep. Find our website, www.energyalignmentmethod.com. Okay. Also find me on all major social media channels. And the book is available on Amazon. The Audible is coming out in the next few weeks, which I'm really excited about. Really excited about the audiobook coming out. So that will be available. But if you find www.discoveream.com/get the book. If you come and follow then you'll also get loads of free gifts and stuff that come with it, and you'll get a link through to the book.
And also for one lucky individual, you'll get your hands on this particular book actually for free. So yes, we'll give you obviously an opportunity to do that, but make sure you also share as well. First and foremost, that's the first demand. Make sure you share this, then you get entered into that, and it will give you this particular book for free as well. So thank you very much, Yvette, and it's a great pleasure to have had you here today. Look at how time has just gone so quick as well without even realizing as well. But thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for the journey, being able to identify some of the things that you were able to learn through the journey in order to share that with other people as well. Is there any closing words that you want to give just very briefly, just before we do close?
I think my biggest thing is everyone, whatever you've been through in your life, you have the power to change it. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you've experienced. when you understand it all through the world of energy, you can shift and change it, and anything is possible. Absolutely anything's possible.
I love it. And that's great final words there. So thank you everyone for obviously watching this. This is amazing. And thank you for listening as well. The Simply Greg Show, as you know, is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting hidden gems in our community. So that's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today, it was Yvette Taylor, and we was talking about how to actually shift yourself and break out the cycle, the repetitive cycle, in order to find yourself in alignment. So yeah, this was amazing. Thank you, Yvette, once again. You could catch us on social media, which is at Simply Greg Show on Insta, at Simply Greg Show on Twitter, and at Simply Greg Show on Facebook. I normally say life is complicated enough. Why make it anymore? Simply Greg. See you next week.